Clickbait. We're all sick of it, and yet it seems we can't help ourselves. Our instinct and curiosity get the better of us every time we see a juicy thumbnail or title. A part of us knows it's misleading, but the other part goes, what if this time it's actually true? So what do? We click, we watch, they win, we lose, but how on earth did we get here? Clickbait traces its roots to the 90s, when the internet was just starting to boom, with its emergence closely tied to the rise of online journalism. As websites sought to increase traffic, enticing headlines and thumbnails became essential tools to lure users. But before clickbait was a thing, there was another term used in print media, the place where this all truly began. You see, the practice of overselling and under-delivering in news headlines has gone on longer than you might think. In the 1800s, print media initiated the trend, coining the term yellow journalism, and this was a method to captivate public interest and boost newspaper sales. The term came from a New York World comic called Hogan's Alley, featuring a character named the Yellow Kid. Prominent figures in this era, like Joseph Pulitzer, were great at employing sneaky yellow journalism techniques. The phenomenon transitioned to broadcast media in the late 20th century, labeled as infomercials. These programs, airing during off-peak hours, presented a mix of commercials while feigning the delivery of life-changing information. A great example of yellow journalism is the 1835 Great Moon Hoax, a fabricated story about life on the moon published by the New York Sun. Despite its falseness and revelation that the editor, Richard Adams Locke, concocted the story, the Great Moon Hoax still proved wildly successful. A similar tactic was employed in the early 1900s by newspapers like William Randolph Hearst's New York Journal and Joseph Pulitzer's New York World, both competing through provocative headlines that often breached ethics but gained substantial readership. In 1983, Vinnie Mussetto, referred to as the godfather of clickbait, grabbed attention with the headline, "Headless Body in Topless Bar," on the front page of the New York Post, which he edited at the time. Despite the sensationalism, the actual story about a bar owner's shooting had no mention of toplessness until the third paragraph, showcasing the enduring appeal of attention-grabbing tactics in journalism. Early clickbait tactics involved, like the days of old, sensationalizing news headlines and creating misleading thumbnails to attract clicks. The trend gained momentum in the late 90s and early 2000s as news outlets vied for attention in the increasingly crowded online space. The Sun posted this headline referring to Michael Jackson, saying that Hitler was a genius. Anyone who would read that headline would get really offended, but the word missing here is orator. What Michael really said was that Hitler was a genius orator, talking about his ability to affect a lot of people. Hitler was a showman, that's what Michael meant. There's also this headline by the Globe, Princess Diana's secret daughter. The rumor suggested that in December 1980, Queen Elizabeth mandated gynecological tests for 19-year-old Lady Diana Spencer to confirm her ability to bear children before announcing her engagement to Prince Charles. The story alleges that during these tests, embryos were created from Diana's eggs and Charlie's sperm, one of which was secretly implanted in a rogue doctor's wife, making her the surrogate mother of the supposed biological child of Charles and Diana. Now, this is a rumor, and up until today there is no evidence of it, but the affirmation on the headline was clickbait. There's no allegedly or its synonyms, it just states that there is a secret daughter, for sure. There's also this headline about Bush where it says, "Bush on Kane in White House." Anyone reading this headline would think what it claims, that President Bush is doing in the White House, but the actual truth behind this was his son Jeb Bush snorted on the night his dad became president. Now, both claims suck, but you can see how it baits the click. It misleads the reader into thinking that the president is doing it instead of someone else, not that anyone doing it is a good thing. And then there was this headline about Britney Spears, quoting her saying that, "I don't want my kids back." Back in 2008, with all the Britney drama and her ex-husband getting custody of her children, he claimed that she said she didn't want her children back. when in fact she never said that. She fought to get partial custody of her kids and aided with everything concerning them. She paid $20,000 in child support per month. But when you see that headline, you want to read about how a huge celebrity who is very unstable and who happens to be a mother would even say that about her children. While magazines and online papers were using clickbait to gain more readers, the phenomenon was being put to use by a whole new breed of people, having nothing to do with journalists, but who'd become their biggest competitors, aka content creators. Making it on YouTube has never been tougher, and it's seemingly impossible to get views that even come close to the big players who dominate the platform. And the bottom line is, you want 1 million views? You have to get 1 million clicks. That means you have to employ crazy statements in the title and flashy colors and graphics in the thumbnails, using the color red and putting circles around subjects, pointing them with arrows, several question marks and exclamation points, and the oh my god face with the mouth open. All classic techniques used to lure the viewer in. It's become standard practice. They could come up with the greatest video idea on earth, but if it doesn't have the right title and the right thumbnail, no one will watch that video. They think of clickbait first, content second. When it comes to audiences, clickbait doesn't just mislead us, but it also undermines our trust in the online content. We find ourselves disappointed by the vast disparity between the promised and the delivered content. Makes us skeptics, and honestly, it leads to a decline in the credibility for the digital platforms. And then there's the algorithm. You see, content creators have adapted their strategies to cater to the algorithm. And what does that usually do? Clickbaity titles, clickbaity thumbnails equals more clicks, equals more views, equals better ads, equals higher CPMs, which means more money in their pockets and more incentive to do it more and more and more and more and more. It baits us. It baits our curiosity into clicking. We're so curious as a species that even though we know it's probably not true, we still go on and click and watch the video. So what can we do? There's a need for digital literacy, which means educating ourselves to know the difference between sensationalism and credible content. And platforms like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, they have a significant responsibility in mitigating clickbait. They have to build stricter content guidelines. They have to improve their algorithms. They have to be more transparent about reporting the mechanisms that should contribute to a healthier online environment. The one thing that would really turn this around is some law passing, because clickbait is not illegal. It's considered to be unethical. But when you think of things like clickbaity news, especially when it comes to covering real-life big news stories, clickbait being considered unethical is just wrong because there's real-life consequences. Also, there's so many fake ads out there. They try to sell you courses, they try to sell you make money quick schemes. These creators, they use clickbait. It involves false claims, deceptive advertising, misleading information. There is a silver lining to this though. Creators that use clickbait involving false claims, deceptive advertising, misleading information, those things can violate advertising laws. In the West, we haven't seen significant arrests come up for misleading titles and videos, so addressing clickbait, because again, it's not illegal. But in China, a man has been arrested for using ChatGPT to create fake clickbaity news articles and spread them on multiple platforms. Authorities literally said he exploited modern technological methods to fabricate fake information and proceeded to spread it on social media. The vast majority of people only read the title. They don't actually click through to see what it's about. So in a way, clickbaity titles have become the way news is spread. And that has caused tons and tons and tons of fake news to go around and controversies. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be going away anytime soon. If you want to put the blame on the people using clickbait, they're just trying to make a living. And the competition is everywhere. Literally every title you read will be clickbait. The title of this video will be clickbait. It's all about getting those clicks. It's all about getting those views, whether you're a journalist or a content creator. And the only way for us to personally do something about it is to actually be more curious. If they're baiting our curiosity, let's go in there. Let's read the article. Let's actually find out what the article is about before we go ahead and forward it to somebody else. And what we really need more than anything else is media literacy. The ability to subscribe to the channels and the sites that we trust, and the ability to block the channels and the sites that we don't. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.